The Rocking the Page Virtual Writers Festival has two parts to it. The first part is the virtual part, which starts with our professional writers creating a short video that they then upload onto YouTube and the students and the classes watch. In this video, the writers are performing readings, introducing themselves. Basically, it's a little get to know you before the next step, which is the live synchronous online session. And during this session, the writer comes in virtually into each of the connected classrooms and shares a writing workshop. So gives writing prompts, gives examples, gives tips, feedback, and then students have the opportunity to ask questions of the writer.
And what I decided to do was see what would happen if I tried to write a poem that only used one verb.
They tell us about themselves, their writing styles, what they've written. Sometimes they read us some of their stuff. Then they give us exercises like Stuart Ross did 20 words, where we just picked 20 words and we had to write stories about them.
Usually when I write, I can't think of what to write about, but when they give us what they want to do, I just get it right away.
After that, the students then post their piece of writing onto the WordPress blog. The professional writer then comes in and gives positive, descriptive, and very personal feedback to each of our student writers.
Ooh, it changed my writing a lot. Before, I wasn't that good at writing, but when Rocking the Page came, I was good.
The writers actually being able to give you the assignments almost in person, it really helps inspire my writing because then I know what I'm going to do and see them and see what they've done and I can go, oh, I can do that.
After a few authors, you start to get the hang of it and they'll comment on your writing, tips, what they liked, what they would think would make it better, and then that feedback of an actual author who's written stories, it really helps for you to kind of get like an image of what you want to work on. I personally like it when I get the feedback from the authors because you just feel so happy that they noticed it and stuff. But there is deadlines, so it's a bit challenging.
We think about something, and then I write it down, and then we edit it, then we put it on Rocking the Page.
The professional writers will comment on the students' work, and the conversation continues not just between the students and the writers, but between the students themselves as they start to read each other's work.
What we do for our feedback is we do a like, connect, and wonder.
The connect is something you connect with for the other person's writing, and then the like is something you liked about the other person's writing, and the wonder is something you wonder about the other person's writing.
I'll write it down so then I can look back at it in my book and then I can use it for next writing.
And then we're so fortunate to have the Face-to-Face Writers Festival, which is the second part of Rocking the Page, where these 6 writers are now coming to School District 10 schools, now doing face-to-face workshops with the students.
It's a big privilege for me because I've never met anyone famous before, and meeting all these writers has just really helped.
My favorite thing was probably Nikki Tate. I've always liked her writing style, and when I get to work with her, I'm really excited about it.
2 young women are having dinner way over by the window. One of the women is doing a remarkable impression of a shocked chicken. Her chin leads her face as she speaks, and her eyes bug out with every word she punches at her friend. She's too far away to hear, but the words are clear enough on her protruding lips. Are you kidding?
I like how she's so descriptive with her writing and her character development.
I started to like writing more and more when the writers kept on coming, and I loved most of the assignments. They were hard at first, but after 3 assignments, I got really good at it.
But it's very, easy to kind of relate to where they are if you're actually talking to them versus seeing what they've done on a page.
I am a poet. I prefer to write poems, and when I did poetry with Linda Crossfield and Stuart Ross, it really helped because I could write longer poems, and I actually got good feedback on my poems. Stuart Ross said, fix this line, change it a bit, and just helped make it flow more, sound better, and it was just helpful.
Rocking the Page works well as a cross-curricular project. So yes, it's language arts and it's writing, but now you're taking your writing and it's not just on a page, you have to post it online. So there's that creative communication. So that is one of the big core competencies that we've been working with, that being able to communicate creatively. And the students are really flourishing in that aspect for sure. Another way it is a cross-curricular project is that it's social studies. So students are writing and they're posting, and they don't realize that they're writing about the world and the community that they're in, and they're sharing it with the community in Edgewood or Nakusp. We're connecting these communities that are spread out, that are separated, and yet we are still part of the same district. It connects visual arts. Morgan Taylor, for example, for his writer's workshop, had the students taking pictures and using those pictures as part of their nonfiction writing to promote their local. So that's social studies and also visual arts. One of the things that we taught our students was how to portray ourselves online. And so because we're working in an online virtual writing community, we still want it to be safe, respectful, and a positive environment. And so each of the teachers involved had a lesson with their classes where they talked about what it means to be socially responsible online. And that's part of that digital literacy piece as well, thinking before you post. What I'm about to put online, is it helpful? Is it going to inspire the world? Is it kind? Do I need to post it? And these are all things in today's generation that students need to learn. How do I represent myself digitally?
After the virtual Writers Festival, which was going on for a few months, we were lucky enough to have coffee houses where the professional writers shared some of their work, but the students were also able to share some of their work that they had written. And the chance to read their work alongside professional writers and see what it's really like to get into that performative environment was actually just such a great opportunity for the kids, and really added another layer to what we were doing with the festival.
We'll run and run and run in the blazing hot summer sun. If that baboon tries to follow us, the panda and I will jump onto a random bus. My guardian panda has now saved me, and now I will save him from this giant bee!
Rocking the Page has influenced my students in that now they have an audience for their writing, someone other than just me, their teacher.
We really noticed that students had more of a passion for what they were doing and really were able to get into the writing in a way that seemed to have a bit more purpose than just a regular old assignment.
I found they all responded, I would say, better than they do because they knew it was going somewhere and not just myself or their immediate class members was going to see it. And I think the added putting it on the computer, you know, for some of them, that in itself was a novelty that was worth doing. They were very excited to check to see if anybody had read their work.
Classmates and friends can give me positive feedback about what I should write about next, because like their favorite so far that I've written was one called Me Stew, based off a Shel Silverstein poem.
I've been writing very dark things. I have a really good life. I'm happy. I just write very dark, sad things. It's kind of, if I am sad, that's kind of how I get it out and I bounce back to my happy self.
I find that poetry has more meaning to it and just more power, and they seem to be more emotional and more come from the heart in a way. And it's just more real and less story and less fiction, but it doesn't always have to make sense. It just, whatever comes to mind and you can piece it together. And I really love that about poetry.